Yo. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks to Game Chaps, as always, for providing such wonderful gaming background music. While we catch up, we're going to be playing some Power Washing Simulator. And not only is this a stream to catch up, but it's also showcasing what may be the dirtiest map in all of Power Washing Simulator at this point in time. Now, you're probably looking at this wonderfully clean Ferris wheel. That's not the case. This is not the level. That's a personal little side gig for me. Yeah. I see that Tina's Terrible's Wonderland. This is not what I meant to be showing. What the? I don't want to show my computer screen. I want to show the game. But that's okay. Wanted to give a shout out real quick. We'll do starting instead of BRB, I guess. Bum, da, 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 da. Welcome in. I am super excited to be back. My hair is going wild, so I am putting it up in this nice little what do you call these? Bandanas. There you go. You know, no longer used for masks. So we're crushing it. All right. It's because I quit. It's because the reason the people see my screen was because I quit Power Washing Simulator, which is I just meant to quit the map. All right, all right. We're taking our precautions. We're getting everything set up. Thank you so much for being here. Now we're Gucci. And I'm Gucci. Snackums, not the company. Though, did love House of Gucci. One of the bigger snubs at the Oscars, which is another fantastic topic that I have and want to share. Yeah, can you guys hear the music at all? I just pumped it up just in case. But if it's too loud now, give me a shout. This is the subway. And from what I can tell on the social medias, is that it is the messiest map so far. One cool thing is that I think last time we played this, I literally thought they were like releasing two maps. A vehicle and the subway. But they released so much content that honestly, I'm a little shocked. Still working on I'm still working on getting this desktop audio how I want it to be for you guys. You know, maybe because, like, you know, it's loud for me. Sweet. I mean, that's much better. All right. So you get your first little trails in just because you need to. But let's take a look around. This is pretty insane. Lots of work to do here, folks. But it's nothing that we can't handle. In one stream? Maybe? But we're gonna crush it. Take a sip of that coffee. What this also calls for is for starting... Oh, I don't want to get hit. Can I get hit in this? What this also calls for right off the bat, I don't think I even own it yet, is the soap cleaner, the soap nozzle. Let me get that because I can totally afford it now. Yep. Wait. But we want the Pro. I almost bought something that was completely unnecessary. And I saw a lot of things that were multi-purpose. So that's what we're gonna start off with first. And it's gonna freaking, your socks are about to get blown off. Check out that range. Oh, I guess the range, not the range, but the width, the circumference of this cleaning. Hoo-wee! Dirtiest map? I don't think so. I mean, a look away? We'll look back. What is this? This isn't even dirty. Who said this was dirty? Not me. Not me. Off to a strange start, but nonetheless full of love. Thank you guys for coming out. I had a fantastic time in Arizona. Saw the Jujutsu Kaisen movie. Got to hang out with friends and family. So that was absolutely amazing. Couldn't ask for anything more. It was a definite refresher that was needed. But I also miss playing video games. I miss streaming. Missed, you know, my wonderfully built PC. And so I'm glad to be back. But I was saying before, you know, as you may know, the Oscars are coming up. Now, whether you care about the Oscars or you don't, they're still kind of important. They're still, you know, maybe less important than they used to be, but, or were at one time, but they are incredibly vital. So I thought, you know, wanted to go ahead, checked out most of the films. I've checked out all the films that I want to see. Minus Coda. I definitely want to see Coda. But it's on that dang Apple service. Apple TV. And I don't have that because I don't, you know, a little Android boy at the moment. So that's where I'm at. Still wanting to see Coda. Other than that, I've seen most every other feature film. One thing that I wanted to go ahead and make sure that I did before the Oscar come out is catch up on any of the shorts that I can. There's a lot of different categories for documentary shorts, animated shorts, you know, live action fiction, maybe live action. But the point is, there's shorts. Oh yeah, they've got shorts, and they've got a lot of other stuff too. Sorry, but I did go and check those out. And I'll definitely talk about, you know, my thoughts and feelings on them. They were all, you know, fantastic. Some definitely more than others. But that was a wonderful time. You know, I like to get all the dirt, but also sometimes you just get kind of bored cleaning one surface all the time. It's nice to switch up. Now, it might drive some people crazy, and you know what? It drives me a little crazy. I won't lie. But it's how my brain works. And then other times you see a perfectly manageable wall, and you're like, yes, this wall right here, I can clean it from top, bottom, in a well adjusted square motion. I'm like a guided meditation, not necessarily ASMR, but guided meditation professional right here. All right, now close your eyes and pretend you are drawing a circle. No, where? On the wall. Now start washing away all the dirt in that square until there's nothing left. See how clean that wall is? Okay, I'm done with that one. That bit is done. I did go check out those films yesterday. And I was in a rush to leave. And while I was driving to the cinema, I remembered that I never changed my license plate from when I got the new license plate and new tags. Now, that's super awkward because not only did I not change my license plate, I took the license plate inside, which is farther away than if I had just left it in there. I was worried about it getting stolen, so I'm justified in bringing it inside, but I really should have just put it on. So, the entire time that I was on the ride, I was in slight emotional distress. Thinking about, if they get pulled over, what if, this happens? And it wasn't really, like a ticket or whatever they do. I don't really know what they do. But that would suck. No doubt about it. But in my head, the only thing I could think about was, what a waste of time it would have been to have gone to the DMV and still get smacked for, a fine as if you didn't, It was, the DMV, it was tough. I'm not gonna, there was times where I was like, maybe I should just go home. But I didn't because I needed to make sure that, I was driving with a registered license. License plate. I have a anyways, you don't need to know my license status. But I didn't get pulled over, which is huge. Because I was, I missed a few turns on the highway. It, even after 6-7 months of living here, still happens. Almost every time I go out. But that's not the point. The point is, I made it safe home. Probably half an hour later than if I had just taken all the correct paths. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta give that up to the driving god and go, you know what, driving god? Here's my sacrifice of my time and life force that you have taken. Please be good next to me next time that there's rush hour traffic. Now you're probably wondering, so that's not the end of the story, right? The end of the story is obviously that the first thing you did when you got home was put the license on so that that doesn't happen again. Because chances are, next time you leave, you're going to be in a rush. This is true. The next time I leave, I probably will be in another rush. But did I put on my license? Not yet. Because that's the life of a procrastinator. And there's nothing you can do about it. Until the last moment. And then you can do something about it. But I'll get it on today. At some point. Maybe after the stream. Yeah. Yeah. Why not? So yeah. That was my yesterday. Yeah, I mean, there was more to yesterday, I guess. Picked up some groceries. For the first time, 2022. He tried the drive up and go function. I ordered online. And then drove up, said, yo, I'm here for my food. And they were like, yo, we'll be right out. So I sat there, waited for them, popped the trunk, beep, beep, so that they could just put it on in there. Jamming out, probably to some anime music. Really into King New at the moment. He's he did the Ranking of Kings theme song, and Jujutsu Kaisen 0, some of the songs there. So it's popping off at the moment, but probably jamming out. And a lady knocks on my window, and I'm like, yo. Put the trunk so you didn't have to knock on the window. And she's like, yo, are you Tyler? And I'm like, yeah. I'm sorry, that was a weird face. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm Tyler. She was like, cool, I got your delivery. I'm like, yeah, cool. I was like, maybe I have to put it in the trunk. So I got out. Went over, lifted the trunk. Oh! Except for I didn't. Because it was still locked. And all of my misconceptions about why she was knocking on my window came crashing down. It was my fault. I had not truly unlocked the trunk for her. So, went, grabbed my keys, opened the trunk, and we put it in the trunk, teamwork style. You know, it was my first time ordering online, so it was definitely, you know, a more stressful experience than it could have been. And that's on my fault. You know, that's on me. But it was still pretty, I mean, it was still pretty stressful, you know? Maybe, you know, if I did it right, it would get easier. But also, you know, like, you're also at the whim of, you know, a stranger who's gonna pick out your groceries for you. Like, I got 2 bags of salad, and you know, when you go in, you look at the bags of salad, and you make sure that there's no brown leaves, dead stuff, things that aren't gonna be tasty. I didn't have that liberty, so I just had to, you know, trust in basically FIFA, first in, first out, you know? Because it's possible that the grocery store employee looked at the bag and was like, I want to make sure he gets the best spinach leaves. But probably not. I did inspect the salads though. They look fantastic. So, you know, either they had some really good salads, or I did have a Bond's angel looking after me. And if that's the case, bless you. I got to mess around with my camera a bit more. You know, like, before I left, it was like we had our first date, me and the camera. We didn't really get to know each other. But camera and I are like pretty much going steady at this point. uh, so I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna like I'm gonna start filming things. One thing that I want to start filming is like invitations. You know, like I want to like if I'm gonna have like a Mario Kart tournament. You know, I want to film an invitation to that. I think that's a better way to get people pumped up about the event. You know, like, yo, can't miss this. He made a video for it. Like, if you make a video for it, then, you know, it's got to be that much better. So I might do that later today, maybe tomorrow. Definitely going to get a haircut, but I'm procrastinating that as well. Are you guys feeling how cool it is to just get this massive line cleaned up? One of the first documentary short I saw was about a college football team for the deaf, and that was pretty sick and awesome. one part that really stuck out to me was, you know, the, they're playing another team, and a lot of the documentary is just sound and subtitles from them doing sign language. But one part that really stuck out to me was the coach was given a pep talk. So the opposing coach was given a pep talk to the team. You know, the huddle before the event, and they were like, "You have to forget that they're deaf." Um, because that they will use that to their advantage. And I was like, yo, that's, I don't know, you know, that hit because it was like, uh, because when the whole time I was watching, I was thinking about how hard it would be to not be able to see, to not be able to not see. They could see, to not be able to hear when you're playing football, like blue 42, set, hike, you know, like that kind of stuff. Uh, so it was super cool to be able to check that out, and I won't spoil how the game turns out. Um, it was all around really sick. Um, let's see here. You might be wondering why I have been spraying in one spot for the past minute. But it's just because I was getting the names up of the documentaries, and I don't want to be talking about the documentaries and not call them by names, because they were, I guess I should. Oh, I was clicking in the. I was clicking in the OBS. Oh wait, I think I just missed it right there. Okay, here they are. Yeah, yeah, here we are. So we'll push this over here. But that was Audible. Oh, that's so great. Audible, and it's got double meaning there. Nah. You know, like football Audible, but also like hearing Audible. Anyways, I do this every single time. Let's see. Properties. Sure. Dun, 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 dun. We'll get this. Look at that. Ooh. Make anyone sick. It's like, I think I have to like pull the stream up on the other monitor. This is tough. People are out here doing this all day. Like streamers, they OBS straight hard. Okay. And then it's like, can you even see it? Let's. Oh boy. Okay. I mean, we'll do it like that. That works in my heart and soul. So yeah, we have that going with the Audible. Great name, great documentary. Then we had Lead Me Home, and you can see the description above if you want, but I'll give you the synopsis as well. Lead Me Home is super. I was gonna say super cool, but like, it's about the homeless crisis in Los Angeles, which when it first started up, I was like, yo, they're like, they were like, showing people in their like apartments and on their iPads and like, like living comfortably. And I was like, hey man, like, who, like you're a Los Angeles filmmaker, you know what I mean? Like super, yeah, like I'm like, who like I like it, but it wasn't trying to make me feel bad. I don't think. It was just trying to show the different perspectives and the how you don't have to think about it on the inside, but like crazy, crazy, sad, crazy, scary stuff. It do be happening. Um, so it like it presented some solutions and it really showcased some fantastic humans that were putting their blood, sweat, tears, and soul into curing the homeless crisis and helping out humans just like us. And that was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. Like they were focusing on one person who was helping it was like a traveling shower that the homeless could use, and uh, you could feel her like her soul warmth through the picture. It was really cool. I would watch a full length documentary about just her daily life, and check out like how many people and lives that she touches on a daily basis. Because that was definitely the most moving. And then we had the Queen of Basketball. This is actually the last one that they showed at the theater. And hands down, my favorite one. I don't know if it's because I'm in a big basketball mood at the moment, but uh, it was about Lucy Harris, who was a women's basketball player before the WNBA. So it was right when women's sports were just getting the chance to shine. And after the documentary, I'm like, arguably without her, you know, um, women's sports would not be where it is today. She was crushing it on the court. Um, and it was interviewing her now. She was narrating her own documentary, just kind of like telling her life story. And it was super cool to see how happy she was post basketball, because it was, she did college, intercollegiate basketball, and went on to even play at the Olympics. But after that, there was no WNBA. So she, that was it for basketball. And it was so cool to see, she would have loved for there to be a WNBA at the time. She would have loved to, keep playing and keep shining, but also was super proud of, the family that she raised and all that kind of stuff. And that one, was lighthearted and, didn't make me have a existential crisis inside my own brain, along with my quarter life crisis. So that's why I like that one, which, I think is perfectly reasonable. Three Songs for Benazir was about a man in Afghanistan, in a war camp. A camp for people displaced by war, and really showcased, like, his daily struggle. He was trying to get into the army he didn't have an education. He had been educated to the third grade level, but couldn't write or read. So in order to join the army, he literally needed someone to fill out his forms that could do so. So he needed, like, basically a family member. He couldn't just go to anyone. He had to go to someone that would, back him up and say, hey, this guy's a good guy. Or, connections. what do they call them on job applications? References. He needed some references. And his family wouldn't sign it. Because he had a kid on the way. And they were like, you need to stay, take care of your family. So, that was definitely a hard one to watch. Just because there's not, I look at it and I'm like, what am I? It's so far. I'm so disconnected from that side of the world and their culture that I'm like, I don't know how to feel about that. What am I supposed to do? But I don't think it was asking me to do anything. Anyways, that was 3 songs for Benazir. What's the move? Oh yeah, and then the last one was When We Were Bullies, which was about a dude in his 50s or 60s who remembered his entire class bullied this one kid. There was one day where the teacher would not excuse them from school because this kid was talking. Now, it is also extremely funny because this kid was named Richard, but he wasn't the only Richard in his class. He was actually the 4th Richard in his class, which, if you don't know how the hierarchy goes with the name Richard, I'll give you a rundown of how it goes. First, Richard number 1 gets to stay Richard in the class hierarchy. Number 2, Richard gets Richie. Number 3 gets to stay at a comfortable Rich. And then in the rare case, as in this documentary, Richard number 4 gets Dick. So, poor Dick was talking when he shouldn't have been talking, which led the class to be excused later than the bell rang. We've all been there. We were all there. I'm sure that we've been in that class, and for the few people like me, we've also been Dick in the situation. Well, after the bell rang, and after the entire class remained quiet and still, including Dick, they were released to go home. But they all knew who it was that kept them late. So every single person in the entire class, now that's as the story goes from a 60-year-old guy who's remembering 5th grade, every single person surrounded him and beat him up. Which is terrible. Absolutely terrible. No one would say otherwise. But I totally get it. Um, and like, I get it, maybe because I was the talkative guy, you know. I wasn't necessarily the dick of the class, for sure. But, you know, fifth grade, rough. It's a rough. Your brain is like still mush. You know what I mean? It's a weird situation. I'm going off topic. Point was, this guy is 50, 60 years old, and he still feels bad about beating up poor old Dick in the courtyard. So his mission is to connect with every single person from his fifth grade class and talk to them and see if they also remember. Which is, it sounds funny, but to see if they also remember beating up Dick and how they feel about it. Because he still felt terrible. Which did, you know, it led him down a rabbit hole and, you know, connected him with old classmates that remembered him and, you know, remembered stories about him and remembered every single one of them. Now, they didn't all remember beating Dick in the courtyard. If I put this on YouTube, it's 100% going to be demonetized, but that's okay. And for no reason, too. I'm not doing anything wrong. They all remembered Richard, for sure. And, you know, told their perspective on, you know, whether they liked him or whether they didn't like him. A lot of people, you know, remembered him being a strange kid. But yeah, that was the documentary. And definitely one that was was entertaining. And I liked it a lot. However, I found two things that rubbed me wrong. And I'll tell you. One was that they interviewed everyone in the class, including the teacher, who was still alive at the year of 95. She's 95 years old. Can't even remember the bullying incident that she walked in on. But she did say, "Yo, no one's gonna watch this movie," and he was like, "Oh, okay, well, I disagree, but that's okay." But they didn't interview Richard. They didn't interview Dick, and they did it with intention. They didn't want to bring up any bad, you know, memories of getting bullied. If he had buried that away, they were like, you know what, that's good for him. And they made the film completely without even thinking about how he'd feel about a film being made about him. If there is a bully story that I've hidden deep down inside, where I was bullied, I don't know if I would want my bullies making a film about it. But it also felt weird that he interviewed everybody except for Richard. Once again, they were isolating Richard. I found that interesting. That even after 50 years, they still didn't want to talk to Richard. But the point was, you know, he felt bad and he was sorry. Which brings me to my second issue. Which is, you know, kids' brains, they're mush. They're mush. They're not fully formed yet. People do crazy things when they're kids. But like, are you gonna hold on to that for 40 years? Like 50 years? I don't think anyone should do that. If someone was still mad at me for say I bullied a kid, which I don't remember. Okay. I remember bullying one kid in freshman high school PE. And I can't remember his name, and I was trying to remember it the whole time we watched this movie. And I have good reason. Freshman year boys PE was a wild. It was like the Roman Colosseum. It was like eat or be eaten. That was the true prison experiment. It was bully or be bullied, and I was getting bullied. I was getting my butt bullied off in freshman PE. That was, I think, the only time I could ever say that I was truly like super bullied. And I'm fine. I'm chill. But at the time, I was saying, as long as this other kid gets bullied. And crazy thing is, I remember we called him Phil, but that wasn't even his name. That was the name that we gave him because he didn't like it, which is, again, super messed up. Maybe I shouldn't be confessing to all this on stream, but it's also cathartic. So we gave him the name Phil because that wasn't his name. But I was like, yo, as long as that guy's getting bullied, I'm not getting bullied. Which, that's sociology, man. That's like animalistic instincts at its core, which is insane. It's absolutely insane. So that's the only time. Phil, again, I'm sorry, man. If you're one of the handful of people watching this, bro, my heart goes out to you. Because I can't. I still wasn't. High school. You're older than 5th grade, that's for sure. But I still had a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn. But I was like, this guy's been holding on to this guilt for 50 years. Dick is, Dick's probably doing fine now. You have given more thought to this situation, maybe, than Richard has. And you're a whole nother person now. You're okay, my dude. You're forgiven. If not by Dick, then by me. So that was my other thing. I was like, bro, you can let go. Like, it's cool. That being said, if you didn't let go, he wouldn't have an Oscar-nominated film. So there is that. Maybe I should contact every single person in my freshman high school PE class and say, hey, do you remember having, PE with me? Who knows? I bullied a girl in high school. We became friends after we graduated, though. We never bring it up. You see, that's that's one way to go about it, because that's awkward, And she's obviously forgiven you. Also, like, straight up, I know it's a movie, but 21 Jump Street. There you go, That's how Jonah Hill and beautiful Channing Tatum became friends. They were adversaries in high school, And it's like it's a whole nother culture. It's a whole nother system. High school, college. Not college, if you're bullying a kid in college, you know better. You know better. Even senior year, if you're not all like, as we get thing with each other. Da, 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 da. If you're not doing that high school senior year, if you're really still trying to put someone down, get out of here. Get out of my chat. But it's all cool. But yeah, those were the Oscar that's the Oscar nominated documentary rundown. I have now completely spoiled all of them for you. But some of them are hard to watch, like the homeless population one was very hard to watch, because that's like, right beside my apartment. So that sucked. And it was meant, I'm not saying the movie sucked. I'm saying the purpose of the movie was to feel sucky, So it did a fantastic job of it did a fantastic job of doing exactly what it was set out to do, which is great. And while we were talking about it, we've made decent progress on this subway station. Dang, it's huge. But yeah, that's my Oscar documentary rant. If I had to pick one, I would pick Queen of Basketball to win tomorrow. I wonder what the betting odds are on short documentary. That's gotta be pretty low, I'm thinking. I mean, like, some of them are like, it's a pretty tight race. Or like, it's pretty set in stone. So I would love... No, not big... Bovada. Let's check it out. All right, and let's see if you can even. It might not even be a category. Yeah, not a category. That's okay. I didn't want it to be a category anyways. Yeah, well, I'm gonna get rid of this display capture because you want to see the game. I'm sure. I guess I didn't really get rid of it. You want to see how much money I'm making? Yeah, and we'll play this for another 30, and then switch on over to Zelda. Get that little run through going. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I know I am. Woke up not bright and early, but 9:30. 9:30, had my coffee, had my second coffee, and got to set up the stream nice and peaceful. I did make a schedule. for the stream this week. And instantly took it down because I had to rearrange it. But also, I didn't know what I wanted to play. Some games, you know. Some days, some weeks, you know. You're like, Thursday, I want to play Elden Ring. So you get your Elden Ring on. This time, had no idea. So, I just let it come naturally to me. The way that I landed on playing Zelda after this was actually because I saw an ad on Twitter saying that Pajama Man Sam was now on the Switch. This was huge. I was like, that would be kind of fun. That'd be kind of fun to play on stream. And we may one day. You know, I played Pajama Man Sam. I played the fish one. I played Putt Putt. I never really got far in the Star Fox one. It's not called Star Fox. Maybe it is called Star Fox. I never got as far in the Fox one because I don't know. I was bad at that one apparently. But if I played those, all of those memories would come running back. In the fish one, there was a fish that was in jail singing the blues, and that's when I first learned about jazz. But that's all I remember of it. And then Pajama Man Sam, there was the gourd guards, and you had to get a gourd on your head. That's all I remember about Pajama Man Sam. So I would love to check those out. Now, I thought that they were part of like the Sega bundle that came out for free with the online functioning. Turns out they're like almost $20 each. So we'll get there. But I was like, you know what? Let's check out some of the things that I got. Because I got the new online plus with the Switch, so I could get the new Mario Kart maps. And with that came Nintendo N64 games that I have bought for like the 5th time now. I bought an Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64, for the GameCube, well, for the 3DS, and then got my N64 stolen and my 3DS stolen. So I had to buy it for the 3DS again. So that's how many times I bought the game. Now, if you can count getting it for free in this bundle, I've now bought it for the Switch. So that's a lot of Ocarina of Time. And I'll be honest, straight up, if there was any game that I would think is worth buying it that many times, Ocarina of Time takes the cake. 100%. I would pay for that over and over again. I'd pay for a yearly subscription of Ocarina of Time. I wouldn't like it, but I'd do it. one game that is in the bundle that I've done that for as well is Mario freaking 64. I bought that game just as many times on just as many consoles. They even had me buy it last year. I bought it with money in the Nintendo Mario 3D All-Star Pack. There's 3 games in there for $60, so you cut that up into 3. I bought it for $20 last year. So that one, whatever. It's a great game. It's awesome. But it's hard. It's also hard. I've never beaten it. Never gotten close. So I am a little salty about that one. Your boy may be a tad salty. Okay. I was trying to clean this, but this is the color that we want to see. This is the color we want out of here. We want this color out. We want it out of here. Get it out. Well, I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Get it out of here. Yeah, let's get this white. It would be nice to have this gate cleaned off. Crazy thing about getting home and back from the airport, the whole airport experience from start to finish, especially here in the city, is whack. I bought my tickets to go home months in advance. I got them in like January, so that I could get that, those cheap seats. I'm all about it. I'm all about the savings. But it sucks. Come day of, check the Uber prices. And to get to the airport was about just as expensive as my ticket to get there. Which is fine. Whatever. Understand. But crazy thing. On my way back, I land in LAX, which was my first mistake. I should have gone to Burbank. That was my first mistake. But I touched down. Check the Uber prices. Check the Lyft prices. It's surging, obviously. No one wants, because of everything. But it's surging. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Look at the price. $150. $150 to get from the airport to my house. I could have left my car at the airport and saved money. But, of course, I didn't take that ride. I don't want you guys thinking I took that ride. I waited. I waited. I was refreshing. I was scrolling down, when you pull it down, you're like, and then you switch apps. You get the Lyft one, and you refresh it, and you refresh it. I even got to the point I was sitting there. I got Yellow Cab, which is an app for the cab company, and it's far less superior than an Uber or a Lyft app. But they had tickets. They had a ride for about $65-$70. But I was all like, no, I couldn't. I could. I won't tell you the price I settled on, but it was much less than $65. Much less. I got home for, the same amount as I got there for. And that was a blessing. But here's the thing. I get the Uber connected. I get connected with my Uber. And he calls me. And this guy started talking to me while we were on the phone. Like he starts telling me about his car, about how much he loves his car. And I'm like, yeah, cool. All right, I'll see you soon. Get him off the phone. He picks me up. And he does the thing. He's like, hey, you want some water? You want candy? This was a nice car. It was, I'm sure he's got signed up for the luxury rides as well. I'm just assuming no one was taking the luxury rides at the time. So, came to me. Who paid for, a regular one, but he can accept regular ones. So, but he was giving me the experience. He was like, we got candy in the back if you want the candy. You don't want water? Well, you want carbonated water? You want sparkling? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm actually parched, so I would love some sparkling water. So I did take him up on that offer. But there was no time. There was no time from me getting into the car and him talking that I was able to get my headphones in. There was no time to get the headphones in. He was off. He was off to the races. He was just talking about his life. Talked about how often he washes his car. That was the beginning of it. But then I had to hear about his sick dad. His dad was sick. And then I had to hear about his hate for the hospital system. And this was not your average everyday hate. This wasn't just like, oh, we need free healthcare hate. This was like, the hospital tried to kill my dad, and I won't let them. And it was like, I was like, bro, it definitely crossed the point of your average everyday polite listen. This was emotional support. This was emotional labor that I was having to give for this man. It was midnight. I wanted to be home. I had just, not the longest flight in the world, no. But, I had just woken up from my nap on the plane. I didn't have what it takes to listen to this guy. Oh. And then get this. His brother was dead. But he could have saved him if only his brother's wife didn't take him to the hospital that he hates. So now he's in this huge fight with his sister-in-law. And then it was like talking about the whole fight with his sister-in-law. I was like, this is beyond me. This is gone beyond the scope of me listening. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing the polite head nod. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 But then it got to the point where, like, in order to fully, we were talking, you know, he was giving me heavy topics. I couldn't just be like, yeah, oof. I can only say that sucks so many times. So it's just like, you know, oh yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Oof. Yeah, rough. But then you have to go a little step up. You have to say like, oh yeah, oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That, oh, she did that? Ugh. Oh. Oof. Yeah. Oh man, I hate that. Even if you don't even really know what you're saying, you just repeat the last few words that he said and then go, oof. Ah. Oof. Oh, jeez. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It was work. I was really selling it. Because who knows? If you're not selling it, you know, my life is in this guy's hands right now. So you, like, there's really no time to mess around. The final straw. And the last thing that happened. And it happens in Ubers I've, you know, experienced out here in LA. More than it has in other places, but I'm sure it happens in other places too. The dude was like, I have written a manifesto against the hospital that shall remain nameless. But I print it out and I give it to people. Every single rider, I give it out so that they know and they can avoid what I've gone through in the future. At this point, I'm like, bro, this is nuts. This is not healthy for you, but not healthy for your riders. I know because I'm going through distress right now. But he was like, oh, I don't have any on hand. I don't have any right now. So give me your phone number and I will send it to you through text. I was like, there's no way. So I gave him a fake number. I went far to indulge this man. So yeah, that's my Uber story. But yeah, a lot of people do ask for your phone number. Oh, bro, I've got this gig coming up and we really need PAs. That's what I hear. Everyone's like, oh, you want to be a production assistant? I'm like, bro, I'm in an Uber. Just take me to my place. But yeah, I do want to be. But yeah, here, give me your real number. You can get nuts. We're back to methodical. We're back to methodical sweeping. Because I put the extendo on for the roof. Another huge thing, I think. Frick. Atlanta came back last night? Am I wrong about that? Coming back soon, if not last night. I think if FX is still doing its like next day, you get it on Hulu the next day thing, I think it should be on Hulu. Don't take my word on it though. You know what? But since I'm so unsure, I'm gonna find out. Oh, it's on. First two Eppies. Yeah, yeah, that's sick. The descriptions are always fun. First one is already poking jokes about how it took them 50 years to make the season 3. So, if it's been a while since you thought about Atlanta, you're not alone. I think all 3 cast members have gone on to do, like, insanely amazing things since season 2, even. Donald Glover being Donald Glover, doing everything. Paperboy, which I'm remiss to not know his actual real name. You know, was in Spider-Man. Spider-Man, the one animated, that was super cool. Into the Spider-Verse was what it was called. And he was in the Eternals. And I'm sure, like, much more than... Those are just the 2 that come off the top of the dome piece. But Keedith? He did a lot of indie stuff, including one of the most outrageous movies I've ever seen in my lifetime. Sorry to bother you. Which I have not seen. I have not seen since it came out and I was in college. But it is about, you know, a phone calling company. You know, like, what do you call it? A phone center? Call center. And since then, I have worked. Before then, I didn't work on the phones. And it was funny. I have since worked on the phones. I just don't know how funny it would be now. I'm sure it's still funny in exactly the same way. But I can't help but feel like it would also be an extremely painful experience. I'll do it. I'll freaking do it. I'll go back and watch it. Because it is good. But just know, while I'm doing it. Probably hurting real bad. This one can use green. And you know what? We're taking it from the back. Ooh. This song is Animal Crossing GameCube edition. This feels good. See that? Now we gotta do double time, because we got things like this. You know, I know I've got like a really good power washer, but how do I get? I need more power. There's gotta be like more power. Maybe not yet, but there will be. We just need a little time. The dev team just need a little time. Since the last update, they've gone ahead and hid gnomes in at least all the new levels. I don't know about the old levels, but I haven't seen the gnome in this one. Speaking of gnomes, the first time I heard of the philosopher, the philosopher dude, Noam Chomsky, I didn't even know he was a real person till like high school. The only thing I knew was like the Left 4 Dead meme where you had to carry the gnome from one map to the end, all the way to the end, to get the freaking achievement. That was my Noam Chomsky, which is pretty crazy. And then one day, fun fact, I met not Noam Chomsky, but his wife. I met his wife. It was pretty cool. Helped her out at a past job, and I was like, nice, nice, nice. So that's my claim to fame. Have I seen any famous people yet in LA? Probably, maybe. I can't even. If I can, I can't. If I have, I can't remember. But yeah, I did help Noam Chomsky's wife at work one time. People are all like, oh yeah, well, I met Beyonce backstage at a private concert just for me. Yeah, that's super sick. But I got a one up. Sorry, bro. I hate one upping as much as the next guy. But you know the philosopher Noam Chomsky? Oh, bro, you met Noam Chomsky? That's sick. No, that would, yeah, that would be sick. Yeah. No. But it was still sick. I did meet his wife one time. I helped her out at work. Yeah. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah. Sorry for one upping you like that, bro. But it was pretty cool. And scene. That was my I met Noam Chomsky's wife at work bit. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Speed running this map would be nuts. I've been posting past streams to YouTube. I started a Twitch challenge to see if I could beat Mario Kart with the worst kart possible. As many of you probably know. And I totally let the VODs disappear, which is hilarious because I made it so that I could, have an edited version for YouTube. But here's the thing. That challenge was freaking hard. Like, I didn't, I got close. And I'll still do it. Because I can't just leave it unfinished like that, but kind of stinky, bro. Super hard. So, and now I don't even have the beginning where I actually crushed it on all the levels. I just have me struggling for 6 hours straight. Winning 2 races out of the 6 I needed left over. That 150cc, they let you ride it out for 3 laps. All to slam it down into you in the very end. They want you to be at 45 points. Being in first in the last second of the 3rd lap. So that they can crush you. It's disgusting. Nintendo should be ashamed. Just kidding. Nintendo's dope. Except for what's up with that pricing on Pajama Man Sam. That's pretty whack. I was thinking, if I have to pay anything, $5, $15 for a game that came out. Okay, Google, when did Pajama Man Sam come out on PC?
1996.
A game in
Wikipedia. Pajama Sam. No Need to Hide When It's Dark Outside is a 1996 children's adventure game originally released for PC and Mac. To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
No offense. No offense to Pajama Man Sam, and I hope he takes none. 1996? That was before I was born, and Nintendo wants to charge me $15 for that? And I just get to it's not even a physical copy. I have to download it. Sure, I mean, No, no, not even. 1990. They're giving away the Nintendo library from before that, from, you know, and after that, for free. I've got the NES and the N64 games. All the NES games worth their salt, and a handful of good N64 games, with more to come, I'm sure. But and for freezies, they said, you know what, you pay online, you get that for free. We'll throw it in the bag for you. But then Pajama Man's Dam, the guy's like, oh, sorry, no, no, no. $15 cover. Man. I gotta remember what the gourd guards are about. I gotta unlock that nugget. A memory nugget. And then imagine this. So I've got this like idea of what the games were like in my head. I played them a whole lot when I was like 4. But they're undoubtedly, in today's standards, like, how great are they? You know what I mean? Did they stand the test of time? I don't know. But that would be that'd be an interesting stream goal. Does Pajama Man Pajama Man Sam Stan plays Pajama Man Sam? See if Pajama Man Sam, you don't have to hide in the dark, or it's scary to be alone in the dark, or whatever they said on Google. Does it stand the test of time? We'll find out. Shoot. I'll give Pajama Man Sam. You don't have to tell me twice. All right. You're driving me nuts. What did the pirate say when he walked into the grocery store with a steering wheel on his crotch? He said, "This thing is driving me nuts." I said the punchline before the joke, so if you didn't laugh, that's not your fault. Well, would you look at that? We're gonna get this to 50% clean. We're gonna get this to 50% clean, and then we'll switch to Ocarina of Time. But I just can't. I can't leave it on the 45. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice number. $46, terrible number. Not a 0 or a 5 at the end. Get it out of my face. And even worse than that, it's an even number. Are you an even or an odd kind of person? You know you have a preference deep down inside. Probably has something to do with, I don't know, the month you were born. Shoot, I don't know why you pick what you pick. Like that one guy in JoJo hates the number 4. Understandable. But he's probably an odds kind of guy. I'm an odds guy. I honestly think it's because I'm left-handed. Left-handed seems like the like if you were to give your right and left hand a number, tell me that you would give the right hands the odd number. If you can tell me that you would seriously assign your right hand with a number 5 instead of 6, DM me. I want to know. But it always just seems, it seems like your left hand is number 3. That is, if I were to give my my left hand a number, it would be 3. Maybe I'm crazy. It wouldn't be the first time I found that out. We're at 49. I love the odd numbers, except for the 9s. 49, worst number, because it could be 50. Now, there are always exceptions to the rule. There is one number that ends in 9 that is better than all the rest of the 9 numbers. Take it or leave it. You know what I'm talking about. But this is a dangerous game. I want to get to the end of the line, but I don't. If it goes to 51, the whole thing is screwed up. Just kidding. We're good. But let's take a look around. Do you remember what it looked like before we started? Sure as heck didn't look like this. You couldn't even see the poster for Drive Me Nuts. Jeff Jefferson had no chance in the polls. Now, got a beautiful advertisement board. The Sega card. Pasties? I mean, not gross. Okay. It's just not what I thought was going to be the racing team, okay? Nothing wrong with I don't want to talk about it. Moving on.